Are there some Josephs in your life? I caught a glimpse of my personal life and how it's connected to Joseph. In this world, from beginning to end, let's just say in times of Joseph, his brothers are known as the 12 tribe of Israel. Israel is Jacob, and Jacob had 12 kids, and Joseph was number 11. And with Joseph, he's known as the dreamer, and he had this magnificent dream, vivid, good dream. But his brothers and even his father could have been jealous or angry. First, he told his brothers that in his dream he saw the sun, moon, and the stars, and he saw them as like wheat, and that his brothers represented the wheat bowing down to him. And his brothers didn't take that so good. Jacob, his father, gave Joseph a coat of many colors. Some will call it the rainbow, if you want to say. Many colors. And his brothers may not have agreed with that because Jacob favored Joseph. Now, stop right there. This is what I caught a glimpse of. They're recognizable 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 kids in the Bible, the holy ones. The holy ones, yet jealousy, mockery, scoffing. Think about this today. This is what I caught a glimpse of. I was thinking about my personal life and thinking about my dream, my big dream. I was born 6 days before Elvis Presley. I know that probably didn't mean anything to me back then. I probably, just like any child, didn't like what your parents like. However, I grew up hearing, you were born 6 days before Elvis died. Or, my mother was very sad when that day happened. And in shock, I'm sure. When you're in shock, let's say anybody that's had something tragic event happen, you're left in shock for a while. And during that process, if you've had a family or kids or something, that affects them too. So when I was growing up, being told I was born 6 days before Elvis died, and that wasn't really a good thing, but I started looking at it and I realized I had like a same story of Elvis, because I also like music. I also had a dream of being a rock star, and I carried that dream all my life. Now, I wasn't given the natural ability to play an instrument like some are gifted, a prodigy child of being gifted. However, I was gifted with the sound. I could hear. And I do love music so much. I would have probably had to practice to do something good. I wasn't given like the actual sit down and practice, or the space or the support. Nobody really pushed me. I've kind of been alone. And I, felt like Joseph in many ways, where I had this dream of being this rock star. So, fast forward. At the age of 33, I was encountered in 2012. Yeah, 2012, or at the end of 2011, by this guy, and at Starbucks, and he said that, I'd be a rock star. So it was kind of like pulling my dream out of me, or being able to see what's inside, and me just suppressing it. But he came into my life and reopened that door. And that's exactly what, I wanted. And I went through a relationship. I actually had a band, but, that kind of fell apart. But inside, that dream was still there. So he came into my life, but I realized the connections of this person was to high elite people that are musicians in this world. Mega pop stars, mega stars, mega musicians. And about 6 months into this friendship, relationship, and music, we were actually going into studios. I think it was like pretend stuff or mockery now that I look back. But back then, it was so real to me that I was thinking somebody actually is supporting me, giving me hope, feeding this desire that I have inside. And all along, it's the Joseph story, because I had this dream. But Jesus told me to leave 6 months into this friendship relationship because of who they were connected to. Let's say when Amy Winehouse and Michael Jackson died, and this person's connected to Madonna, and more than likely Lady Gaga, and all these big people. When Jesus told me to leave these people, because I started seeing Amy Winehouse and Michael Jackson, they were dead. And then Whitney Houston died. And I heard Jesus say, leave these people or you were next. So I left. And ever since I left, it seemed like these people were trying to pull me back in. And so I say the Joseph story is because these people are no different than the 12 tribes of Israel. These are my brothers and sisters in this world. Whether I knew them or not, Madonna, Lady Gaga, all the people that were before them and passed on, all the ones that are dying now in Hollywood, these people are my brothers and sisters. And I say that like that because just like Jacob and his kids, his 12, there was one that was a dreamer that was actually in the pit with a good dream of righteousness, and he becomes second in command under the king, under Jesus. He becomes that person. Esther has the same story. Joseph, Esther. But the people in the world are my brothers and sisters that are in Hollywood. They're really like the 12 tribes that are going to need some help. And that's what Jesus has been saying. I caught a glimpse of this. Were the 12 tribes of Jacob, were they demons? They're recognized as holy people, but they envied Joseph and they left him for dead. They didn't have the heart to murder him, like what these people since 2012 hasn't had the heart to hurt me like that. But mockery and scoff, realizing there's something good about that person. But yet when that person left, now I have to follow them for 12 years. Kind of like Joseph. They didn't kill him, but they sold him off to trade him in slavery in Egypt. And he was the master to a new king. You see? And that's what I caught a glimpse of. And anyway, I wanted to share that with you because I believe Joseph, the dreamer, is coming out of this and growing into that tree of righteousness for the end days prophesied in Genesis 49. You got the 12 tribes with blessings. Even Dan is a holy one. He was one of the 12. Okay? But he bites. He falls. Okay? And the restoration, the troubles of Jacob and his 12 are seen in the world and evident for today. So, to all you Josephs out there that's had a testimony like I just shared, and you've been in the pit, just know you are coming out as a tree of righteousness, which is Jesus, okay? And your branches are flowing with the oil of joy. For the nations that need your story, your ability to lay down your life and come out of that pit with the blood of Christ, with the oil of joy. You're coming out. Be blessed. In Jesus' name, I pray.